I've got an individual that's shortness of breath, very hot.
Somewhere tonight, an 11-year-old boy is staring at a racing helmet his father will never wear again. Inside one of NASCAR's most recognized families, silence has replaced engine noise. And across garages all over America, drivers who spent years battling Kyle Busch are struggling to process what happened so fast. Just days ago, Kyle Busch was still racing, still joking with reporters, still preparing for another major NASCAR weekend. Nobody inside the garage imagined that one of the sport's biggest names would suddenly become the center of a tragedy that shocked the entire racing world. What makes this story even harder for fans to understand is how quickly everything changed. Reports say Busch had been dealing with a severe illness for nearly 2 weeks. At first, it sounded like another veteran driver trying to fight through sickness during a packed NASCAR schedule. But then came the coughing, the breathing problems, the simulator collapse, and eventually the devastating news nobody expected to hear. And before we go deeper into this heartbreaking timeline, if you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, make sure to subscribe to NASCAR Racing Central because we're getting closer to 5,000 subscribers. Like this video, comment your thoughts, and share it with other NASCAR fans who followed Kyle Busch's incredible career from the beginning. The strange timeline started during what looked like a completely normal racing weekend. Earlier this month, Busch had just captured a major win in the Dover Truck Series race. Cameras showed him smiling, celebrating, and interacting with fans exactly the way NASCAR viewers had seen for years. After the race, Busch even joked with reporters saying, "I guess I remembered how to drive." At the time, it sounded like classic Kyle Busch sarcasm after critics questioned his recent performances. NASCAR social media pages were flooded with clips celebrating the comeback moment. Fans believed momentum was finally shifting back in his favor. But looking back now, many fans are replaying those final race weekends differently. During another race event at Watkins Glen, Busch reportedly complained about severe sinus problems and repeated coughing fits over the radio. One communication from the team drew attention after he reportedly said, "Get me a shot after the race." At the time, nobody inside the garage treated it like a major warning sign. Drivers compete through pain constantly in NASCAR. Now fans online are revisiting every interview, every radio clip, and every public appearance, searching for signs that something more serious was already happening behind the scenes. Then came the day everything changed. According to reports, Busch arrived at the Chevrolet simulator facility on a Wednesday morning for routine race preparation. It was supposed to be another normal workday before the upcoming Coca-Cola 600 weekend. Simulator sessions are common for NASCAR drivers preparing for tracks, setups, and race conditions. But sometime later that day, the situation reportedly became critical. Emergency details released afterward painted a terrifying picture. Reports described Busch experiencing shortness of breath, extreme overheating, and coughing blood before collapsing. One reported 911 call described him being found on a bathroom floor inside the facility. That single moment changed everything for the Busch family. Think about how fast life changed inside that building. 1 minute, a veteran NASCAR champion was preparing for another race weekend. The next, emergency responders were rushing to help while family members received the kind of phone call nobody ever wants to hear. And this is where the mystery surrounding the tragedy started growing online. Fans immediately began asking questions because official details remained limited. Reports mentioned a severe illness, but no full public explanation was immediately released. NASCAR communities across social media exploded with disbelief. Thousands of posts appeared within hours from fans refusing to believe the news. Comments flooded X and NASCAR forums saying things like, "This can't be real," and "There has to be more to this story." Part of the reason people struggled to understand the situation was because Busch had still been active so recently. He wasn't retired. He wasn't absent from NASCAR for months. He was still racing, still competing, and still fully involved with his team. As confusion spread online, another heartbreaking reality slowly began to hit NASCAR fans harder than anything else. Inside the Busch home, Samantha Busch, Brexton Busch, and little Lennox were beginning a nightmare no racing family ever wants to experience. For years, NASCAR fans saw Kyle Busch as one of the sport's most controversial figures. He embraced the booze, answered critics directly, and built a reputation as one of the toughest competitors in modern racing's history. But away from the cameras and racetracks, another side of Busch mattered far more to the people closest to him. To Brexton Busch and Lennox Busch, he was simply their father. That reality is what has made this tragedy hit NASCAR fans even harder over the past several days. Videos of Kyle teaching Brexton how to race, celebrating family moments after victories, and standing beside Samantha Busch inside the garage suddenly feel completely different now. For years, fans watched Brexton follow his father into racing. Kyle regularly mentored him during junior racing events, helping him understand racecraft, setups, and competition. The father-son connection became one of the most recognized family stories in NASCAR. Now, many fans are looking at those moments emotionally instead of competitively. Imagine being 11 years old and suddenly realizing your father's race number has become part of a memorial across NASCAR. Reports surrounding the tragedy have already mentioned emotional tributes connected to the famous No. 8 car, while fans continue discussing whether the number should ever return to full-time competition again. And the emotional pressure on the Busch family did not begin this week. Over the years, Kyle and Samantha Busch openly discussed their difficult IVF journey and fertility struggles. The family also faced public legal battles, including the widely discussed $8.5 million insurance controversy connected to fertility treatment coverage. Through every challenge, the family consistently stayed visible together at tracks, interviews, and NASCAR events. But according to reports, nothing prepared them for what happened after Kyle's sudden medical collapse. As grief spread across social media, reactions from NASCAR legends started pouring in. And many of those responses shocked fans because longtime rivalries immediately disappeared. One emotional reaction reportedly came from Denny Hamlin, who spent years battling Busch aggressively on tracks across the country. Another major response came from Brad Keselowski, who once referred to Busch as Roadrunner because of his relentless driving style and speed. Meanwhile, tributes across NASCAR describe Busch as one of the defining drivers of his era. NASCAR executives and team members reportedly praised not only his victories, but also the intensity and competitiveness he brought into the sport for over 2 decades. One tribute described him as an American badass behind the wheel, but one of the most emotional developments involved Dale Earnhardt Jr., for years Dale Jr., and Kyle Busch shared multiple tense moments both publicly and competitively. NASCAR fans remember the disagreements, arguments, and heated race incidents between the two stars. Yet reports now suggest the relationship had improved significantly before Busch's passing. That detail has hit longtime NASCAR fans especially hard. Because now, according to reactions surrounding the tragedy, Dale Jr. is reflecting on conversations he never expected would become some of the last memories he would share with Busch. And while drivers continue grieving publicly, another moment has continued spreading online more than anything else. An older quote from Kyle Busch resurfaced shortly after the news broke. Busch once said, "You never know when the last one is going to be, so cherish them all." At the time, most NASCAR fans viewed the comment as a veteran driver appreciating his career and accomplishments. But after the events of this week, many fans say the quote feels completely different now. Across NASCAR garages, tributes continue appearing everywhere. The empty No. 8 garage stall, emotional reactions during preparations for the Coca-Cola 600, and memorial discussions around the sport have created one of NASCAR's most painful weekends in recent memory. For many longtime fans, this tragedy feels especially shocking because it became the first death involving an active NASCAR superstar since Dale Earnhardt Sr. And tonight, the NASCAR world is still searching for answers. If you enjoy real NASCAR breakdowns like this, subscribe to NASCAR Racing Central, like this video, and share it with NASCAR fans everywhere. And comment below with your favorite Kyle Busch memory, because stories like this remind the entire racing world how quickly everything can change.